What's up, everyone? Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 discussion video, and continuing on with the hashtag save series. This one I'm going to be talking about hashtag save the Dark Scorpions. And now the Dark Scorpions are one of those archetypes that, you know, are very old school. You know, they date all the way back to to, to booster packs like Dark Revelations 1. And I can't even remember when that came out, like 2003, 2004, maybe 2002. But they've been in this game for a long time, and this is another one of those archetypes that I plan on, maining come this new format. I'm really taking a look at a lot of cards. One of my hobbies is to research cards and make builds that you know I see aren't being made, or try to reinvent builds so they can be played in a different way other than the typical. And the Dark Scorpions are just like the Cloudians. Um, they're one of those archetypes I feel that have been forgotten about, and they just got left in the dust. Because when this new wave of effect monsters and these new archetypes came out, they just got pushed, to the back. And I feel like it's a couple, again, just like with the Cloudians. I played the just like when I played the Cloudians. I've played the Dark Scorpions for a while. Now, in terms of quote unquote support, there are enough cards in this game to where, in terms of deck strategy, they don't need anything else in order to activate their effects. The one thing about the Cloudians is that they have very, very low attack. So attacking your opponent directly, unless it's a guaranteed hit, you may not want to do that with the Dark Scorpions. The one strategy that I use is that I use cards like Fairy Box, or I use cards like Dark World Shackles, anything to lower my opponent's monster's attack, so that when I attack with the Dark Scorpion, they can take out my opponent's monsters, and their uh, effects can be activated, because their effects activate when they inflict battle damage to your opponent. And I feel that these are one of those archetypes that they don't need support in terms of that, but I still think they deserve, or they could use some new support. And I don't have as many ideas with like what I did with the Cloudians, but I feel like some of the anime only cards, I would like to see them be made into official cards for the Cloudians. Um, so with that being said, let's take a look at them. First up, we have Dark Scorpion Tragedy of Love. It's a normal spell card. It's card description: activate only if you control a face-up Don Zulong and Dark Scorpion Miyane the Thorn. Send one Dark Scorpion Miyane the Thorn you control to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Now, this card isn't all that. It's basically like their version of Lightning Vortex. You know what I mean? It's really like their version of Lightning Vortex. Now, or rather, I should say, it's their version of Raigeki. It destroys all your opponent's monsters on the field, and Raigeki has been dying to get any type of reincarnation that they can. And what better way to do that than to have a Dark Scorpion version of Raigeki that can only work with this archetype? You know, all of these support cards that I'm naming in the hashtag series, they should only be able to work within the archetype. I don't think any other deck should be allowed to use them. You know, but to get a card like this, I think it would help them with being able to inflict battle damage to their you know, to your opponent, because you'll be clearing the field of the monsters that are in the way. Now, of course, you still have to deal with the back row, but it's things you can do to get rid of those. I'm just talking about brute force in order to activate these monsters' effects, and with them having um, effects that need to be activated through battle damage, getting those monsters out of the way can get you one step closer to doing that. And I feel a card like this not only will it help, you know, emphasize more on cards like Don Zulong and Thorn. I feel like this is one of those cards that they can really use that can help them. And speaking of cards that can help, Dark Scorpion Retreat may be a good card. Now this is a normal trap card that's in the description is activate only while you control a face-up Don Zulong, Cliff the Trap Remover, Dark Scorpion the Chick the Yellow, Dark Scorpion Chick the Yellow, Dark Scorpion Gorg the Strong, and Dark Scorpion Miane the Thorn. Return them to your hand. Now, this is a card that was released in video games, and like I always say, if it was released in a video game, why not make it into an official card? You know, if you're giving it to us to use in a video game, it kind of only makes sense that you would make it into an official card, because people that play the video games may get misled and think that that card is actually in the game. Why not give it to them? But that's just me. And this card right here will help make cards like Muster of the Dark Scorpions useful, or more useful than it is. More useful than it is. For those people that don't know about Muster, here we go. Mustering of the Dark Scorpions. And this is a card that it's a normal spell card. It says if you control a face-up Don Zulong, you can special summon any number of Dark Scorpion monsters from your hand, but only one copy of each. Activating a card like Mustering of the Dark Scorpion after you activate, Dark Scorpion Retreat would be pretty good. Say, for example, your opponent may activate cards like Dark Hole, or they may activate, I would say, some card that destroys all the monsters on the field, or may get rid of all of their opponent's monsters. And it'll be good to have something in place to kind of put your monsters back into your hand, or to at least just get them off the field. And I think this would be like one of those tricky cards, or it will be like one of those good tech cards that it would be good to have with the Dark Scorpions. Again, it'll help have cards like Mustering be, again, more useful, because with Mustering being a tech card, and chances are you probably won't even have all of the cards in your hand in order to use a card like Mustering, but you need them on the field in order to use this. And say like you have them all on the field, and you have Mustering in your hand, your opponent or you may activate, say like Dark Hole. You activate this, get all your monsters back, destroy your opponent's monsters, activate Mustering, get them back on the field, just attack with them, and you're able to activate their effects. That's not a bad, that's really not a bad situation. So I think these two cards can be helpful to the Dark Scorpions. And again, they already have, as far as like cards they may need to protect them, I feel like they have that in cards like Fairy Box and all the other cards that can lower your opponent's monster's attack so that they can destroy them and activate their effects. But just in terms of being more like aggressive, just a bit more aggressive, and kind of being more tech, I think cards like Dark Scorpion Retreat and Dark Scorpion Tragedy of Love can be a good help for this archetype. And again, it was made in a video game. Why not release it as an official card? That's just me. So tell me what you think about the suggestions. Thanks for watching, and peace.